All right, there we go. So, welcome to our new moon ceremony. And I just love doing these with you ladies. I'm always appreciative that you show up and you still continue to show up. I realized today that I think we've been doing these now for a couple of years because it started before, or maybe right when the pandemic hit. And it's really interesting to me because of the astrology and what I've been reading and taking in. So I'll share that that this new moon ceremony also. Oh, Katrina's just a heads up. Okay, good. That's okay. Not to be on video. Um, that we do in the new moon ceremonies in the Priestess Within Sisterhood. We'll always do coaching prompts and we'll always share. And I want it to be an opportunity for us to come together and gather in community and speak to each other and get to know each other. And then the full moon are always breathwork ceremonies where we get to just kind of dive deep and clear out and do the breath work and do kind of the inner work. It's all inner work, but do that physical inner work. So today, we'll first do a brief meditation, then we'll share, then we'll drop into some ideas about what this portal is and have some coaching prompts. So we'll do a little bit of work. And then at the end, I was going to offer a vocal ceremony where we get to do some vocal toning because this is so much about opening our voice in leadership at this time and to clear out, have a nice tool to clear out our energy and our chakras, and our voice is super important. And so that's where I'm going to go with this today. And I hope that sounds good to everybody. Yeah. Okay. All right. As I clear my throat, right? So let's drop in. Let's drop into meditation for a moment. Can everybody hear me okay? Just give me a thumbs up. Okay, great. I've been having technical issues. So we'll start by closing our eyes. And taking just 3 deep breaths into our bodies, focusing our awareness on our feet and our seat. We're calling all the pieces of ourself back home into this body, into this sacred temple. Engaging with sensations at first, just being aware what your body is feeling. Allowing your body to have its sensations and its feelings. And as you're feeling the sensations and noticing the feelings, being also aware of your energy, your vitality, whether you feel stable inside of yourself or not. And finally, listening to whatever is present as you get more still in the mental field. Are there any thoughts that are looping? Any little voices that become present? Maybe something that feels like it's an old program or it's outdated. Even a core wound that might show up, like I'm not good enough. We all have those thoughts sometimes. So just letting whatever's present be present. And tonight we call in the energy of the eclipse, the total solar eclipse. And the eclipse is a portal. It's a portal for new states of consciousness to amplify what is our deeper purpose. And so as the sun and the moon are meeting in this space in Sagittarius, it's just a beautiful time to revisit what we believe in, what we stand in. What do you stand in? And as we sit here connected to our bodies, to the earth, let's drop a grounding cord deep into Mama Gaia and allow her beautiful heart or consciousness to anchor us in to a deeper truth within ourselves, a deeper knowing. And as we drop that cord and get anchored in our body, we can feel safe and trusting that what is the unknown is just that, not to be feared, but to be curious, to find excitement in the unknowing. That is this beautiful cosmic game that we are playing. Simultaneously, if you'll open your crown chakra and allow the light to pour in, the codes of your oversoul and higher consciousness, to allow the light of the divine and the cosmos to pour through your crown, activating that beautiful light, the joy, the heart, the higher aspects of yourself. And as that streams through your crown, allowing both the earth and the sky to dance and to mix in your heart. Allowing the heart to be the gateway to all the things that you will do here on this planet. The gateway to your legacy of love that you leave. Breathing into the heart, allowing that space to be enriched by your own spiritual energy and the energy that mixes with this beloved earth. The Shakti, the life force that's coming from the ground, that's coming from the feminine, liberating you, bringing you through this experience to free yourself, to be a channel that is awakened, and to feel that the cosmic energy that's pouring into you and down is the manifesting energy. It's the current of creativity that is guided by our visions, that creates things in real form. So every single day we're making choices, we're creating with these two currents, liberating ourselves and bringing things down. And we're doing this with every single breath that we take. Every choice that we make is an opportunity to engage in co-creation with the divine. What an amazing person each and every one of us is, this unique emanation of divine source light. there's no time to waste. There's no time to waste. We don't need to play small anymore. We don't need to hide anymore. We are safe to be visible and safe to be seen. So allowing yourself to be that open, vulnerable, and available for yourself and for all of us tonight. So just take a few more deep breaths. And what we'll share with each other is what our intention is this evening. Our theme, as I wrote it in the Priestess within Sisterhood, is to speak with integrity, to take action and to foster new beginnings, to encourage optimism, to encourage standing in what is new for us. So as you bring your voices to the altar of this space today, take your time. You know, there's no rush. Take your time, choose your words with compassion for yourself, with kindness for others. And tell us what you're up to, what you're standing in, what you're bringing in. And let me just tell you a few things that I've written down around this eclipse. So as you all know, I follow Forever Conscious, and I love Tanaz, and I always listen to her videos, and The Power Path is another one, and there's lots of sources, you know, for this information. But what I found really profound and really truth saying, and I felt this in my own body, and I hear this with other women that I coach, that we're really, there's a phase that we're entering into. And you can kind of feel that in your body, right? As we've gone through these years of chaos, there's a whole divine plan around that. So this is an eclipse season that we're ending. It started in May of 2020. And you remember what the beginning of 2020 was, right? March of 2020 was. And so we've been in this Sagittarius Gemini eclipse cycle since that time, since the beginning of the pandemic. And now, and that's why I think this is fun too, because that's when I started these circles. Now that cycle is coming to an end. And it wraps up tomorrow. It wraps up tomorrow and Saturday. And so that to me is really interesting. It's like a very significant moment in history that we got to go through. Although it was extremely challenging in many ways, there was probably a lot of growth that you also experienced during that time. So that's going to maybe inform what you say, perhaps not, we'll see. What might your intention be for this evening, for what you'd like to create, for what you're stepping into? And share your voice. And we'll hold space for that. Would anybody like to share?
I'll go. Hello, everyone. So my intention for tonight, I think, is really to be witnessed in what I'm calling in. Earlier, like literally just an hour before this ceremony, I just did a little ceremony on my own. November has been a very interesting and strange month for me. A lot of like weird things came into my life one after another. And so I was really excited about this new moon to kind of let go of November, even though that's more of like a full moon. But it was like I needed to let go of some things before I could really call them in. And so I wrote two kind of intentions during my own little ceremony that I would like to read for what I'm calling in during this new moon. So, and just a little background, I wrote a very detailed forgiveness letter earlier today to my parents to kind of let go of some stuff I've been working through. So these are my intentions and declarations. Today, under this new moon energy and eclipse, I affirm, declare, and demand a fulfilled, loving, trusting, and compassionate relationship with my parents. I call in a fun, lighthearted relationship with mutual understanding and respect. And then my second one is today, under this new moon energy and eclipse, I affirm, declare, and demand a full body knowing, trust, connection, and faith with the spirit and energy of the universe. I call in my spiritual gifts, knowledge, and passion to propel my mission of lifting people out of the darkness and into the light within themselves forward. So I really, my intention tonight was to be witnessed in these declarations. And so I'm so grateful for you, Nicole, for holding space and the ceremony. So I am able to do that.
Mm. Wow, wow, wow. Mind blown. That's exquisite. Thank you so much for inspiring us with your declarations. They're really powerful.
Thank you.
Really.
Yeah, I like burned the edges of the paper and it like hit me. I'm gonna put them in a little envelope and I'm gonna open them a year from now. So
Oh God, I love that. I love that process. And this is why I love sharing these circles, because we get to hear people's different processes and how powerful you can step into that new version of yourself by doing a ritual like that. And the declarations are amazing. And I wish all of that for you. And, you know, because Sagittarius is the zodiac, it's a fire sign. It's like optimism. It's the bow and arrow, right? It's shooting towards that true north. And it is about faith. And you brought that up, right? To really have the faith and the trust that these things are happening. They are happening because it's in your field of your future self. It already exists in you to have that. It's just revealing what parts stepped out of that story and being in the story of my higher self and my future self. So that's really beautiful. Thank you.
yes, thank you.
Whew. Anybody else that would like to share?
I'd be happy to share.
Okay, thanks, love.
Yeah, thank you. This is my first circle with you, and I'm going to see you in person next week, but I was just so excited to be here. And so many things have been resonating already just from Katrina's share and during that meditation. And you said that the eclipse season started in May of 2020. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, because May of 2020 last year was just like I just immediately, like a voice that was not mine woke me up and just said, like, it is time to use your gifts now. And I was like, okay, I knew this moment was coming, right? And I'm like, oh shit, like it's here now. Okay. Like I just dove right in and just like haven't looked back since, quit my job, and here I am. So, but I think my intentions for this evening is to like really be reminded of my strength and coming back to my power and to my voice and to my purpose. and coming home to self. I feel like I've kind of been a little detached from self lately, and I'm ready to sit with her and her power and her glory and her worth. And I really want to hold space for all the beautiful souls in this circle tonight. Definitely have that intention. And yeah, just getting back to me. I'm like really looking forward to her. And I'm a Sagittarius sun and moon, so I'm like, I'm all in it. I'm here and I'm ready. And it's like almost past my bedtime. I was like, I don't even care, I'm in. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. I know I don't always do them at night, but honestly, I have gotten quite a few requests because a lot of my friends are mothers. Although I don't know if anybody on here today is actually a mother, minus, is Stephanie on here? Yeah, Stephanie's here. So, for moms, it's like they got to put their kids to bed, right? All the things. And so these sometimes work, but it is late. But it is nice to do it right before bedtime and kind of go into the dream space with the good intentions that we get to set. Thank you for sharing yourself. And that's amazing that May is when you had that inner whispering and you followed your bliss, which is courageous and so brave. So thank you so much for doing that for yourself. Yeah, powerful, inspiring. Would anybody else like to share?
I will share. The first thing that comes to mind when I pinpoint May 2020, like May is my birthday. I'm a Taurus, so we're going into my eclipses right now. Right. And
Taurus Gemini, right?
Yeah, like that Gemini Sag, but we started with that Taurus Scorpio one the other week, 2 weeks ago. And the thing that I take away from that was learning how to be very comfortably alone. Like I've been single through all of this, and there's a lot of directions that could have gone in, right? And I've been able to be just, very at peace, I would say, really is the space I'm in. And so, but this eclipse window has rocked it, and not rocked my peace, but just been like, it's bringing everything up. And so my intention really is to take this last moment of this to kind of look in the shadow and embrace whatever's in there. I'm very much in that, like embracing and loving whatever's showing up. And then my intention is, in that Sagittarius energy, like I'm really dropping into this space of connecting with source and just getting my directions rather than trying to think things out. And so my intention is, again, like whatever's in the shadow that's keeping me from that, releasing it. It really, you posted that thing, the not doing videos and not wanting to show up, right? And that's a lot of that heavy, deep stuff that I thought I'd already cleared out of, like burned at the stake and silenced and choked and blah. Like that's what's down in here. It's like that Scorpio sludge, right? It was like really in there. So I'm ready for that change out of that. And so I'm really like, someone else mentioned that, like embodying being in your body and being in your wisdom, like it's that same piece, like really trusting that those directions I'm getting, that voice is leading me directly on the steps I need to. The other thing I can give you is that I felt like this part of the shadow, I was really like in this shallow pool of not good enough. And so I'm now stepping into this deep pool of abundance. That's really the thing that's there. It's been there all along and I've been able to see it, but that's fucking sludge, pardon my French, right? Is like the tar pits, right? It's like that poor mammoth in the La Brea tar pit, right? Keeps falling back in that bullshit. So that's there's my truth. It's coming out with swears, but hey, man.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I love it.
So out of the tar pits and that shallow pool, because that is too, it's just shallow pool, but it just like you just keep stepping back into it, like, oh, but wait, there's this and that, and but wait. So now it's like, no. I even saw like a deck. I was sitting on a sun chair and there was like a floaty I could go and really be in the water, you know, if I wanted to. I could sit with my feet over the edge and just dangle them in there if that was all I could handle. So there was like varieties of how to dip into that abundance, but that's what I bring to the circle for us today.
Oh, thank you for bringing the shadow in, because there's always the shadow, and that's actually one of the notes I have here is collective shadow, you know, because that is what we've been going through, of course, as we see, and we are the collective, and we are the reflection of the collective, and yeah, that's exactly what I was writing about. So similar intentions, you know. I wrote a post about a video. Someone's coming in right now. Hold on, let me let her in. About that, you know, I wasn't stepping fully into certain aspects of my leadership, triggered by the pandemic, not blaming it, just triggered by it, to really go into the depths of my victim perpetration story, which, you know, is a collective story, of course, of the patriarchy and women, and also a personal story in my own field of energy. And so it was like, oh, wow, that still exists. That's fascinating that that's still there. But yeah, it does, you know. And when I really went into it, which has been this last window, like you're talking about, there's been this like pressurized change though that's happened in me, and it happened really quick. It was like, I am so done with that outdated version of myself and these stories that I get stuck in, and I'm just done with it. And with so much compassion though, like, and then this ferocity, like, and Leo kind of lioness energy, like I am ready. And it's the Sagittarius energy, I guess, right? The optimism and the faith and the support of the universe, and knowing like I'm all good and I am supported and life is totally for me and we are creating. And yeah, just kind of releasing that, the last vestiges, if you will, of these certain things. Will they come back? Maybe, I don't know. But right now they feel like they're I'm pretty good. You know, I feel like I'm in a different level of my own consciousness too. So I appreciate that, and I hear that loudly, and it resonates. Thanks for offering that, Kim. Yeah, and Kim and I got to get on video today. Kim was a guest on my podcast show today, which is my birthing that's happening through this portal. I was like, I got to do it. I'm just going to get it done. And I did. And Kim's been on there, and a couple of the sisters and the priestess have been, and it's been amazing. It was such a fun time to connect in that way. So thanks for doing that with me today. Yeah, awesome. Is there anybody left? Stephanie, or yeah, you don't have to share. It's just an opportunity if you're willing.
Yeah, I'm happy to share.
Hi.
Hey, I'm so glad you're doing 9 o'clock for me.
I know, you're a mom.
Yeah, when I think about May 2020, my daughter was just turning 1, and she was diagnosed with a disorder. And I was already dealing with a bunch of stuff with work. And then having this on top of it, I just really went into a very dark place, and I couldn't find the support I needed. So kind of just shut down, other than doing what I need to do to take care of my daughter, but kind of forgot about myself. But at the end of June, I quit my job. It wasn't healthy for me, for lots of reasons. So I'm kind of rebirthing, who am I going to be, and what is it going to look like, and how am I going to do what feels right for me, and I can use my gifts. So I'm not quite sure what that looks like yet. I'm still in the figuring that out phase, but at least I'm more capable of listening to my triggers and responding to them in a healthier way, and with more compassion, and being able to ask for help and seek out help. So I guess my intention is to listen for what is that next step? What does it look like? And maybe it looks different than what I think it's supposed to look like, but to try and just be open to whatever it is.
Yeah. So powerful. Thanks, Stephanie, for sharing that. Yeah, it's amazing what you've done in your life. And I'll just invite you to celebrate, as you know, like the wins that you've had, because quitting that job was a huge piece of awakening to who you truly are, as you know. And we have timelines in our head sometimes about what that's supposed to look like and how it's supposed to go and all the control and expectations we want to put on it. Yet you said, I'm listening, I'm listening, and that's slowing down and getting yourself into a space where you can do that is paramount to that process. So I applaud you for that work and what you're doing. It's really powerful. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
I think it's really interesting. Like, I think we're all going through the same transition, because if I think May 2020, it was the beginning of a transition for me. COVID closed down. Well, because of COVID, I had to close down my restaurant, which was probably fine in the long run, because I think I've moved more into who I really am and not something that I inherited from somebody. And I feel like all your voices are saying the same thing that I feel, is that I've just walked into who I really am, and I'm shedding that skin, and it's kind of behind me. It's mostly behind me. There's like a little dabble, the La Brea tar pits kind of a little bit more, but for the most part, I think that I'm walking into my sovereign self. And so I think I like closing on this eclipse, because it's kind of on an uptake rather than a downfall. So
Yeah, that's Sagittarius energy, right? The optimism and standing in our integrity and our belief systems. And yeah, I mean,
yeah,
what a great way for all of us to see the upside, of this entire experience. And that is the light, holding the light, and learning that the darkness, even though when you're in it, feels real sticky, like we've been saying, and can sometimes elicit fear for people. In the end, you get to see the birthing of what is actually occurring. That chaos and that darkness always births the light. It's so amazing. It's so incredible. And to always remember that there's always a transition that's happening.
yeah, for sure. I mean, because for me, May of 2020 was the start of going really inward, and now I'm ready to kind of be social again and out there. So yeah, I mean, I'm actually want to talk to people. I'm just kidding.
We actually want to hang out with you too.
Good. Oh, phew.
Yeah, we all went through the isolation phase, the hibernation phase, the stay
Yeah.
phase, the whatever phase, and that is needed to go inward. It's a great reflection of the way that the feminine actually works too, because it's like this is actually a time of hibernation, December, right, going into the winter months and coming into that place of deep listening and recognition of what is to be birthed. So that's when we birth is in the spring, right? Typically, like by the calendar kind of orientation. And so we're in that, still a little bit, but yeah, like ready to kind of take action on what it is that is really true for us. I love that you said sovereignty. That's my favorite word on the planet right now. Kim and I talked about that today. Sovereignty, personal sovereignty, sovereign divinity, like really stepping into that agency and that autonomy. So thank you for offering that. Beautiful. Thanks, Kim.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm
Yeah.
hello. I'm not sure if my audio is working. I'm using a new mic, so let me know.
It is. It's totally working.
Okay. Thank you for having this. I didn't know what I was coming to tonight. I thought it, from the last ceremony, I wasn't sure what the format was.
Yeah.
But this is actually just perfect. And what came up for me was calling in a lightness of being and a shift of perspective from looking at the things that I have on my plate from a place of fear to looking at it from a place of love, because I have so many ideas and I have so many creative potential avenues to explore. And when I kind of lay them out, I get overwhelmed. And it's my core wounding, it's the patterns from my childhood to approach that overwhelm with fear and to shut down maybe a little bit from even getting to, advancing on any of the intentions. And so this idea of creating to connect, and that connection being from a place of love, seems like such a much more motivating place to be.
Oh,
So and also that like all these skills, like what May 2020, I was like shot out of a cannon. I was on fire, and like I took on so many new skills and was called to do so many new things, as to stand in different power. Like people ask me to do things and I'd be like, yeah, I could do that. It was like, oh shoot, how do I do that? And so that I've like acquired a lot of skills and a lot of confidence in areas, and it hasn't been used so much in the past few months, but I've been getting to sense, and some conversations that I had with some family members last week who are women in my field. We're talking about the state of leadership with women in design and different tech companies and such. And it was just, how they're still like grossly underrepresented. And all of a sudden I felt like it's my responsibility to be more like involved in the industry around me, because it's where my skills lay, and I think it's where what's on my horizon. So
wow.
like it just felt like a responsibility, because it's not like you said, we're done with playing small. And there's been some really great wins in the past month that just show me that if I have a passion and an interest in something, if there's any kind of fear around it, that fear is actually kind of a compass towards something that I value and that it needs to be pursued. So
Wow. Amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
you're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah. I love the fear versus love. It's written on my wall. What energy are you using right now? Fear, scarcity, or love and service? Just as a reminder to always check in with myself. Am I doing this out of fear, or because I feel like I'm lacking something? Or am I doing this because truly it's something that I love? Because we want to always be following our excitement and our passion and our joy. That's the gift that we've been given, to know the path that's ahead of us, follow that excitement. And when the fear arises, oftentimes it's because we feel like we're lacking something, or we feel unsafe in some way. So we can give ourselves that love to resource, you know, what we need internally. We don't have to seek it outside of ourselves at all. This is feeling safe within ourselves, and then opening up to that place of intimacy within yourself, and stepping in, leaning in. What do I need? What do you need, little girl, you know, inside of me that feels this fear? And once you give yourself what you need, you're in love, right? And then you move from that place. So beautiful. Thanks, Kristen.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we have 15 minutes here. I'd love to offer a quick practice. And this practice is something that I do in my course, Unleash the Priestess. It's something that I do in my personal life. And it's helped me a lot, and clients a lot, in opening their voice. I think Stephanie really liked this one. I'm trying to remember who's done this practice with me, but it's the Bijan mantras of the chakra system. And I'm sure many of you know what they are, but to practice them and to chant them together underneath the eclipse. And while you're doing that, having the understanding of what the other women are going through and what you're going through, and that collective circle that we create has a lot of power and magnitude and amplification with the eclipse, but with each other and being in the same field of energy. So I wanted to offer that, and the microphone is off, so you won't necessarily hear everybody, but you'll feel that resonance, and you'll feel the other sisters in this field of energy that we're creating together in the quantum field. And anyone who's listening can do this practice too. So essentially what I'll do is intone each Bijan mantra at each chakra, and we'll do that 3 times to feel the vibration. And sometimes what happens is, if you're blocked in a certain area, or there's just a little bit of stagnation, then the voice kind of gets cranky. It's the word I'd like to use. It's like, or it like breaks out, or it does something. And when I've worked with a vocal coach that I work with, her name is Christina Wells. She's incredible. She always has me envisioning not just those chakras, but that, you know, there are all of these 72,000 nadis that are in our body, which are these divine channels of really light that are moving through our bodies. And sometimes you might feel it at the chakra itself, or you might feel the energy kind of radiating in different places. And just to have fun listening to where the voice actually is an interesting exercise of learning where your vibration is going. And when you get really attuned to that, eventually what happens is you can identify almost within your own consciousness the tiny little channel that is blocked. And it's reminding me of actually this, which is really interesting. This is a Shipibo cloth from the patterns that they see in ayahuasca ceremonies, but you can see how there's like these little pathways and these designs within the designs. These are things that they see in ceremony. And I kind of see that as inside our own body, these little nadis and chakra channels and things that are feeding energy to all of our connective tissue and our organs, etc. And so when you get really good at identifying the vibration, you can get as detailed and discerning as getting your voice into that little nugget that needs a little pop, you know, and freedom. And then it opens up the whole channel of your body. It's quite incredible. So I'm coming off of a little cold that I had a week ago. So I'm always I've been clearing my throat a lot. And I'll just take that to believe that I'm also clearing my throat chakra channel for more divine leadership. All right, so here we go. I will use the bowls to just ring in, or maybe I'll use the tincture. I'll just do this in between so you know where we are. All right, so let's have you close your eyes just to start. Breathing deeply into your body. Just putting on a little energy clearing harmonics. And place your attention toward your root chakra. So the perineum, the pelvic floor. Some might say the tailbone. The Bijan mantra of the root chakra, Muladhara, is LAM. LAM is LAM, so that you know what it sounds like or how you spell it. So we'll chant LAM 3 times. And again, you can chant it as long as you want. Oh, just letting somebody else back in the room. Okay, Katrina, so we're going to chant LAM at our root. And what you might find, which I find fascinating, is that each of these mantras, you can actually locate that vibration at that body part. So LAM will sound like it's in the root. Okay, so let's take a deep breath in. Exhale out. Inhale for LAM. Inhale. Inhale. Sometimes you might need to clear something out, so just, do that. I have sometimes a spit cup. Sometimes things come up. The neck chakra, our second chakra, our sex organs. If you want to place your hands there, that's fine too. The Bijan mantra of this chakra is VAM, V-A-M. And since it is the sexual, sensual, playful chakra, think of VAM as like vava voom, like it's got this energy of desire and playfulness as well. So when you chant, maybe kind of just putting that into your field. Okay. So let's take a deep breath in. VAM. Deep breath. Deep breath. Beautiful. Now moving our attention and energy towards our third chakra, Manipura. So we've got this fire energy here, our gifts, our talents, our self-worth, that the Ram, it's RAM, it's like Ram energy feels really strong, Ram. And we want to bring that confidence and that belief in our power, especially since I heard that from so many of you today. Let's bring that right into the belly center, right above the belly. Take a deep breath in. So I can hear a little wavering in my voice, right? So that's where I would continue with this exercise. Inhaling. Nice. And let's travel our energy up to our heart. Anahata. Our heart energy is Yam, Y-A-M. And this I like to think of as like yum. It's also got a smile in it a little bit. And when we chant that, you can bring that awareness of heart and compassion and kindness and service, all the things we've been talking about, being in service, you know, for others, and directing, of course, the love first to ourselves. We'll say Yam, Y-A-M. Take a deep breath in. Yam. So I went up a little bit in my voice because it's going to hit right there at the heart. Okay. Inhale. Yam. Yam. And now we'll move to the throat. The throat chakra, the Shuddha, means to purify. Purifying our word, purifying our voice, really stepping into the leadership that we're talking about is so much about being integrity with our voice and what we're saying and how we translate our thoughts into kind words, you know, and pure actions. Being discerning, you know, and embodied is being so gentle and fierce with our voice simultaneously, like really landing in the vibration that we want to land in. Hum, H-A-M, hum. Let's take a deep breath in. Hum. I heard my own raspiness there. Again, deep breath. Ha. Again, inhale. Ha. Beautiful. Let's bring our energy now to the sixth sense, right? Ajna Chakra, or divine, clairvoyant, clairsentient, clairaudient, all these superpowers that we host in this place that is considered the command center. And you'll see different words in different books. In the text that I like to use, the Chakra Bible, Anna Judas book, which is called Wheels of Light, I believe, or something to that extent. I apologize if I don't get that title right. Is Sham, S-H-A-M, S-H-A-M, Sham. And then our crown will be Om. And you might see Om here, and then silence at the top. And those are both well and good. So we'll be chanting Sham. And it'll sound a little more high pitched because now we're bringing the register up into kind of the sinus cavity. So we did Hum, was very much in the throat, and now it's going to go a little higher, okay, right there, to clear out debris and all the calcium deposits, etc., at the pineal gland, and that's where we're going. Deep breath in. Shah. You will feel it. You'll feel it in your eyes if you're hitting the right spot. Your eyes might start to waver. Deep breath in. Deep breath. Hopefully the video is keeping up with the sound. I know as it gets loud, it can cut out. And then last but never least, the crown chakra, connecting to our divine wisdom and the cosmic consciousness, and to all of creator, creatrix, the Om sound. And we'll kind of go into the highest register that you can reach. You know, there's no kind of contest. Everybody's got different voices. It's just like, can you feel the energy moving up to the crown and really get that high pitch to penetrate the wall, if there is some wall there for you, and opening up that channel. Deep breath in. Lost it at the end there. Take a deep breath. Excuse my clearing. Inhale deeply. Deep breaths into your body. And feeling all of that vibration, that just poked a hole for me in something that felt really good energetically. And now bringing that vibration, that sound, back through the architecture of the chakra system, down that central channel, Sushumna Nadi, and all the way back down to the root. And feeling the connection, that deep connection through the sound and the vibration, that frequency between the earth and the sky now a bit more open, the channel more fluid for your intentions, for your manifestation. So we say thank you, Mother, Father, God, Source, Creator, all that is, for playing in this divine light space with us today, for opening this field of energy with all the women in this group, for allowing us to be seen and witnessed in this collective prayer that we hold for each other, to feel the consciousness moving through us in a clear way, to help us embody our higher self wisdom, and to bring that higher self wisdom into ourselves, into these bodies, to recognize that we are so powerful as creator, as a unique emanation of you, the divine. And we're so, so, so grateful that we have the opportunity today to meet in this field of consciousness, to be awake, to allow the witnessing to be received, to be heard, to be loved. May you all feel so blessed, as I do, to be in this container with each other and to feel supported and safe in your missions and your journeys, in your relationships and your businesses and all that you're calling forward at this time and this now. It's exquisite to be with you in this space. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sisters. Thank you for joining tonight. Thank you for sharing your voices. And if there's anything that you'd like to say in closing or anything in the chat box, happy to hear it. Yeah, just, all good things. And have a happy new moon and a happy evening and a great total solar eclipse reset as we move into this next phase of life. And we'll meet again in the full moon, or at the full moon, or under the full moon, I guess is the best description. All right, sleep well, sleep well, sleep well, sleep well. Namaste. Mwah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Katrina.
Thank you.
you.
Mwah.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you,